Hi everyone, Erica here from In the Company of Cards. Back again today, this time just to look at some questions the way that I normally do. Feel like I want to get back into the normal swing of things. I just posted a video with Denise Siegel. Her link is in that video if you want to go look at her work. She is an astrologer. We didn't really talk astrology. We just sort of chatted. It's a long video, so if you want something to keep you company while you cook dinner or whatever, that's available for you to watch. Denise and I are good friends. We go back a ways, and I was happy to have her on. I should let you know that I'm not sure when she's going to put it up, but you know, um, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot, whom I had on a few weeks ago, has invited me to her other channel. I'm going to be videoing with her today. Not sure when she's going to put up, but that when she's going to put that up. But the channel is called Random Sage. So go to Random Sage, subscribe there, and you'll be able to see the two of us have a conversation. I'm really, really looking forward to that. Um, it was terrific being able to read for so many of you on Friday. I did a free reading hour just to say thank you for the 30,000 subscribers. We are now up to about 30,125. It keeps going up, and I'm delighted. But thank you so much for trusting me to read for you on your personal issues. Those were just sort of short 5 card readings, and I hope they were helpful. One more little housekeeping detail, as they say. Um, on the subject of a practicum, so that for those of you who don't know, I had sort of put out feelers to see if people wanted to be involved in a practicum. A practicum would be where I or someone would pose a question, and then you all, using your own Lenormand decks, would try to answer the question, and then we would discuss your answers and how you arrived at those answers. So it's not a class per se in, the rudiments of Lenormand. I actually have a class available, and if you click the more button on this video or any of my videos, you can get access to that class. That's a pre-recorded class that I have up. It's sort of an evergreen thing. But for those of you who might want to work with me in a group setting, looking at a question, and again, I don't think personal questions. I think questions that are of significance to all of us would be what I would look at. And to start out, I would bring the question to the table, and then you all would read, and then we would discuss those readings. If I have to do breakout groups, I would do breakout rooms. I'm thinking that I'm going to have it be a membership thing. So for X amount a month, we would meet once a month uh, and do this practicum. And it's a good way for you to sort of exercise your Lenormand muscles with someone at the helm to sort of help and guide you. I'm thinking of launching it in May, and I will announce it when I, in fact, do launch it. And you will see that it's a membership thing. So you would pledge X amount. I don't know what the amount yet is per month, and you could participate in this practicum. So that's that. Okay, there are a few questions that I wanted to look at. So I looked at last time, I think, at Marco Rubio, and that was before the debacle in the Oval Office, where Vance and 47 embarrassed themselves by trying to dress down uh, Zelensky. And I mean, talk about the shot fired around the world. The photograph fired around the world um, reminded me of, Rubio the photograph of Rubio reminded me of how awkward he was when he went to sip that water during the whatever he was doing. He sat there, he reminded me, I'm a longtime teacher. He reminded me of a kid who had been caught up to no good and is sitting outside the principal's office waiting for his mother to come so that then he can be disciplined by the principal and the mother. That's what he looked like. He looked like a little kid who just did not want to be there. But bottom line, he was there in that meeting. He didn't say anything, I don't think, but he was there looking miserable. So I just, when I looked at him yesterday, the other day, whenever that was, what I saw was that, yeah, he's uncomfortable. Yeah, he doesn't want to be there, but he certainly likes the title that he has, Secretary of State. He likes all of the perks of the job. So I just thought I would see, how is he thinking now? I mean, is he any closer to quitting than he was, which was not very close? Again, I think he probably has to shave without looking in the mirror because I don't know how he can look in the mirror at himself. But let's just see what the deal is with Rubio. Is he any closer to cutting the cord with 47? I think not, but that's just my opinion. And, you know, you don't need my opinion. I'm going to use the young man for him. I know he's 50 something, but he has that sort of boyish look. You guys, did I pass it? Oh my God. All right, sorry. Let's try it again. We're looking for the young man, and that will stand for Rubio. Thought I was paying attention. Okay, here he is. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's Rubio. Okay, so we have the key, the fish, the young man, the ship, and the birds. I'll get back to that, but I do want to look. I'm just going to pull a couple of clarifiers for him. Well, so we have the key, the fish. Here's Rubio, the ship, and the birds. So I think, the key is the first card. He knows that he knows he's being talked about. He knows he's the subject of gossip and jokes. I mean, if you saw the Saturday Night Live cold open, if you haven't seen it, go see it because I mean, how embarrassing for him. So he's aware that he is the butt of jokes. Um, and he definitely has all kinds of feelings around it. This is the card for emotions, for feelings. And he has thought about quitting, thought about quitting. Okay, and then I drew some clarifiers. I drew clarifiers on him because he's in center. Clarifiers are stork, child, and lily. This feels more aspirational than actual. So here he is, wishing things would get better for him, wishing he could turn a page and just feel more at peace with his decision to support 47. This is aspirational, not actual. He wishes it, but I don't think that he can do it. Okay, here's our ship. Now a ship can either, leave or come in. So let's see. So we have the star, the cross, and the woman. I really feel like he thinks, listen, I got on this ship of state. this Trump boat, and that's the boat I'm on. Uh, as far as my future is concerned, I can't do anything. I think this causes him great pain, but I feel like he feels that he can't leave, impotent, and that's painful for him. Of course, he could leave, but he won't. And then we have the birds, and the clarifiers are the dog, crossroads, and the tree. Okay. So, the thing is, he understands that a lot of the things that 47 is doing with Russia are things he should not be doing with Russia. I don't know, like stopping the the cyber um vigilance that we've had on Russia all this time, which Hegseth has now stopped. He knows it's wrong. Um, but I just, he's picked his group. He's picked his people. He knows he's the subject of talk. Um, I think he's being advised by friends to go a different way, but I think he's there for the long haul. Key mirrors the tree. I'm sure that this costs him, but clearly not enough for him to do anything about it, like jump ship and tell us where the bodies are buried. And I think this is to his personal detriment in the long term. I think that I think he's probably afraid of what would happen if he pulled out, so to speak. Uh, but I think he needs to be more afraid of what will happen if he doesn't pull out, because this ship is going to sink. I'm just saying. Okay. The second thing that I wanted to look at is, let's see, um, the tariffs. So 47's tariffs on Mexico and Canada are meant to go into effect tomorrow. Will that happen and how will that go? And so I think what I'm going to do is use the letter, and the letter can stand for it, these tariffs. So what will happen tomorrow um, in regard to the tariffs? Remember, everything was put off for a month. Well, here we are a month later. So let's see. Okay, so we're looking for the letter that will stand for the tariffs on Mexico and Canada that are set to go into effect tomorrow per 47's order. Okay, these are the tariffs. Wow, again, the key is the first card. That's so interesting. Um, okay, so we have the key. I'm going to say that's the White House. This is not always the White House, but I think it's the White House. These are the tariffs, the child, and the anchor. I want to pull some clarifiers on, I think I'll pull them on the tariffs themselves. And on the child and on the anchor. Well, so let's see what we've got. On the tariffs themselves, we have the garden, the ship, and the woman. The woman is just yin energy. It's not an actual person. I mean, I could say, oh, it's the president of Mexico, but I don't think so. So this is the tariffs. this is people. I mean, in the end, who's going to be paying these tariffs? Not Mexico and Canada. I mean, the pain of this will accrue to us, the public. But I do think that they will go ahead. I guess he's trying to show Scheinbaum, who is the president of Mexico, who's boss. All right, then we have the child, and we have the clarifiers Lily, Ryder, and Birds. I do think that there will be some small new effort on his part to try to do something relatively conciliatory. Like, you know what? Let's have a meeting. Maybe this doesn't have to happen. Or, now that you guys see I mean business, maybe we can come back to the table and negotiate so that this doesn't have to happen. That's what I think he'll say. And then we have the anchor, and we have the dog, the clover, and the whip. I don't love the whip there. I think that things will move ahead. I think Canada and Mexico will say, we're not playing with you. We're not playing with you. We're not playing this game with you. These are countries that were allies, our closest allies, or geographically also closest allies. And I think that there will be quickly harsh words about this moving forward. Key mirrors this. I don't think that 47 will, if he tries to say, let's talk one more time, I don't think that that's gonna happen. And I think that he will have created bad blood between us and those two countries, or between his administration and those two countries. It's not good. Okay, so I think the tariffs will go ahead. Maybe the tariffs will be short-lived, but you can't, he does this, right? He makes some big pronouncement and then is required to walk it back. But walking things back is not as easy as he likes to think that it is. This is the problem with having someone at the helm who's just so immature and mercurial. Um, you know, yeah, I'm going to do this. No, take it back. No, back and forth. People don't like playing those games. Countries don't like playing those games, and they make us look untrustworthy, which of course we are. Because look who we voted for. I didn't, and you didn't. Somebody did. Okay, anyway. Um, two more things. Uh, the first is coming first, so I will look at that one first. Tomorrow, 47 is meant to give his State of the Union address. Um, I will not be watching it. I will read a transcript after the fact. I think that he pays attention to who watches him and who doesn't. And it's not like we won't get word if there's anything to learn. I just don't think if I were you, I wouldn't watch it either. Put something else on. I'm not going to be watching it, but I just want to know if anything is going to come out of this speech besides, I don't know, self-congratulations and bravado. I think that's probably going to be the tone and tenor of it. But we will look for him in the deck. I will use the older man, and we would like to know how will that State of the Union speech go. There's been some suggestion that Democrats should not attend. I think that would be a great thing, but I don't have faith that the Democrats are bold enough to make that kind of a move. They should be, but I don't know that they are. So let's just look at how that speech will go. And we're going to use 47. I mean, we're going to use the older man card, like the one up on my wall. And that will stand for him in his speech. Okay. Will we hear anything new, earth-shattering, interesting, different than his usual bluster? So there he is, giving his State of the Union speech tomorrow. Hmm. Okay. So I just pulled clarifiers on a few. We have, anyway, the original line. The young man popped up, older woman. There's 47. There's the tree, and there's the bouquet. So, you know, first off, I can mirror this first card, the young man with the bouquet. He thinks of himself as younger, more vigorous, more virile, more tough guy, more John Wayne-ish than he actually is. So that would be all this. And he really thinks that that he got a mandate and that this is what the country wants and that he is a gift to the country. That's what he thinks, because that's what he has to believe in his mind. Um, we have this older woman here, and then it's mirrored by the tree. And I'm going to say that I think he is a little hobbled by ill health. And it may not be anything that we see, but we might see it. His energy might be a little bit down. Now, here he is in the middle, and the clarifiers are the book, the clouds, and the clover. These are really interesting to me. I mean, ideally, he should know what he's going to say tomorrow in the speech. He will have practiced it, I assume. Except that remember what he does, even if he's got a speech in front of him on the teleprompter, he tends to let that go by the board and he will extemporize, meaning talk off the cuff. Whatever comes out of his mouth is what comes out of his mouth. I think that will happen. And I think that the speech will be shorter rather than longer. I think that's what Clover is. And I think it will be, because he will go off script, confusing and confused. Why? Because he himself is confusing and confused. I think that will come across this is the card, this is the book for, things that we don't know, and we don't know how really confused he is. Remember, he's the guy that does the grand gestures. He's not the in the weeds guy. That's the Project 2025 people and Elon's team. He's really not versed on the minutia of what his government is doing. So he'll go for the broad strokes. He'll sound like he's obfuscating and um, just look over here, look over here, look over here. And I think it'll be shorter than usual. Now, what's interesting is this tree card. This is the card for health. And uh, well, hmm. On the one hand, I just said that I thought that the message would be brief, but he does like to run his mouth a lot. I think that here's what I think. I think there won't be many takeaways. Like when you try to say, okay, what was the meat in that speech? You'll be hard pressed to find it. I think I know what this is, fluff. Clover is fluff. So again, he's not somebody for being in the weeds. He'll just do these broad strokes and it'll be all fluff. That will be confusing. He may, in fact, not be, it may not be brief. Instead, it may be long and God knows, boring. This is the card for boredom, the coffin. Um, Now the other clarifiers are the house and the fish. I feel like this house is his physical self, his body. And and then we've got this fish, and I do think the fish is about emotion. I think he's feeling his age. I think he's feeling his um, fragility. And I say fragility because again, he's a puppet and he has people pulling his strings. And I think he's feeling it. Like he's got to say to himself when he gives this speech, I hope Putin likes this, or I hope Musk approves, or I hope Peter Thiel's good with this, and Musk. That's what I think. So I think he will be long-winded. There will be very little of substance. It'll be a lot of fluff. It'll be very confusing and meandering. Yeah. Now, the last card in our original line was the bouquet. Clarifiers, the dog, the tower, and the snake. So, you know, the bouquet, that's a great card. It's a gift. Um, but this is the card for allies. We used to have the gift of allies, did we not? We used to have the gift of allies. You know, Canada, Mexico, Europe, we used to have the gift of allies. Uh, but now it'll be very clear we are a country isolated and alone, and this is really problematic. Don't love the snake. Uh, so he'll probably get up there and bluster about Europe and how everybody's taking advantage of us, and we told them, and Zelensky from Ukraine needs to apologize. He'll say just a whole lot, but he's not winning us friends. He's definitely influencing people negatively to think negatively of us. And the gift that we used to have of allies and friends, we will not have. We will be a country alone. Because not for nothing, it's not like Russia's our friend, despite what 47 thinks. Okay. So I think that if you don't watch the speech, you'll be doing yourself a favor. You can always get the gist of it after the fact. That's what I'm going to do. And I think that he will say a whole lot of nothing. You'll come away, if you watch it, come away saying, wait, what? And it will be a speech that if our allies aren't already mad enough about at us, they will be madder after that speech, meaning angrier, meaning more disenfranchised from us. Okay. Uh, then the final question that I wanted to look at is what is about around the events of March 14th. As I mentioned last time, March 14th is the day that the CR, the continuing resolution, which funds the budget after the budget is up, the CR itself is up, meaning that we have to vote in a new budget or not, or not. Now, there's a thing called impoundment. Impoundment is where the president says, you know what? I know that Congress has allotted money for this and this and this and this. But for my own reasons, I'm going to impound that money, meaning not have it dispersed, not let it be distributed, hold it up, freeze it. And I'll tell you, I mean, we already know that even if all of the Democrats voted no on whatever budget they come up with in the end, that the Republicans could push it through. It's just that's the way the numbers go. It's also true, please God, from my mouth to your ear, there could be Republicans who say, yeah, no, we're not going to do this budget. I mean, we're not going to cut these billions from, for example, Medicaid. We don't agree, so we're not going to vote for this version of the budget. At which point, 47, because he's the one that would shut the government down, would shut the government down through impoundment, which just means, like if your car is impounded, I guess, it means you can't use it because they took it. The thing about that is there's a law that's been on the books since 1974 that says impoundment, meaning refusing to have money distributed that has already been voted on and allocated by the House, is illegal. The thing is, when has that ever stopped 47? He could say, listen, unless you pass this budget the way I want it to look, uh, I'm taking my marbles and going home. And my marbles are all the money. And I will not let there be money for anything. Well, that would do a lot of things. I mean, things would grind to a halt. Now, I guess one question to look at is, will he employ impoundment, notwithstanding the fact that it is illegal? Will he take that tack? Um, so let's look at that. Now, I think what I'm going to do, we'll use the letter because it's kind of that catch-all card that you can use when, you know, uh, so the letter will stand for his declaration of impoundment. So let's just see. Is that going to be his response to uh, problems with the budget vote? Will he employ impoundment? Okay, so we're going to look for the letter. Okay, so this stands for withholding all funds until he gets, or some funds, or whatever he's going to do, until he gets what he wants. Um, okay, so this is interesting. We have the cross, we have the tower, we have the letter, we have 47 in his most narcissistic form, and then we have the young woman. So I am going to pull some clarifiers on this. Anytime a reading starts with the cross, uh, it's meant to give you an indication that the question itself is a non-starter. Now, again, impoundment as a technique used by a president has been against the law since 1974, which is probably why this card pops up. Like, what do you mean? No, we can't do this. He can't do this because it's against the law. But we'll see. Uh, all right. So I'm going to pull clarifiers, I think, on everything. So I'm pulling clarifiers on the cross, on the tower, on the impoundment itself, on the bear, and on the woman. Okay. So this is interesting. So on that cross, right, this is a card that says, yeah, this is a non-starter, meaning if he does it, it will come to no good end. He will come to no good end. But anyway, the clarifiers are the ship, the tree, and the clover. I and I have said this before, I do think that there will be a shutdown. He will do the shutting down through impoundment. I think he will do this. Um, and he would be willing to do it for a long time because the more people suffer, the gladder they're going to be when the lights go back on and the machinery of government starts moving again. Uh, so these two cards, in some ways, they're opposites. This is slow and this is fast. Slow, fast. So I think since this is the first line, I think he is more than willing to go the impoundment route. And it's an impetuous decision on his part. Okay. Now, the second card is the Tower. This is the card that stands for government. And so we have the older woman, we have the book, and we have the birds. So this is government. I think he thinks um, that his side will go along with him, be acquiescent and open to this impoundment idea. But I'm not so sure. There are things he doesn't know. And what he doesn't know is that there is a rumbling around the country and in the halls of Congress. There's buzz about him. Why is there buzz? Well, because look how Congress people and senators are being received in their home districts. Not well, not well. So I think he's not aware that even his own side is going to say, listen, how I can't go home and explain to people that we should all be in the bag for Trump when Trump took the bag away. Like, how can I defend this move of yours? Okay. So then here we are in the center. This is the card for impoundment. We have the young man, the scythe, and the moon. Remember, 47 is a bully, right? And this is a bully's club, so to speak. Club meaning like cudgel, something he can beat us with. Because he's so big and bad and tough. He's going to show us what for. How dare we not pass his budget? How dare we not cut this and that and the other? So, he's a tough guy. So I think he will probably make this decision to do this. Uh, and really not understand the fact that this just stokes the fire of upcoming revolution. But the scythe is about making the decision to do it. Here he is in all his narcissistic glory. And the clarifiers are the key, the star, and the snake. So he's going to be out there big and bad and swaggering, thinking that this will teach people who I am and moving forward what they need to understand about what I'll do to them if they don't do what I want them to do. This is going to be a problem for him. This is going to cause a big problem for him. Final card in our original line of 5 is this young woman. And we have some really interesting cards here as clarifiers. We have the lily, that's nice, right? We have the bouquet, that's nice, right? And then we have the coffin. So to whatever degree there's been a honeymoon period, if he employs the illegal technique of impoundment, which one more time is the refusal to disperse funds that have been already allocated by the Congress, he's put himself in a box. And remember, I always can mirror the first card with the last card. What can I mirror this coffin with? A cross. He will be putting nails, plural, in his own coffin if he decides to try to strong arm the Congress and the public in this way. It will cause him no good end. Now, I don't want us to get it twisted. Will it cause us short-term pain if he does this? Yes, yes. But in the end, who will be feeling the pain? He will. So come on, bring it on. So that's the reading for today. I don't know how cheery it was. I just think, again, I thought for your own mental health, I would suggest that you not watch the State of the Union, and also to give Nielsen the understanding that we're not watching him. Just watch something else, put a movie in, whatever. Just go for a walk. Um, uh, I think that the State of the Union address will be confusing and all over the place, and will make clear that he's just not wrapped too tight. And then the next date to look for is the 14th. That's the day that the budget will be voted on. And I think he will try something. And I think that that's part of why March is such a fraught month. This is going to be sort of the month where the battle is joined. That's what I think. Where it'll be very clear to people, even who didn't want to see it, who he is and what he's doing. And I think it'll be the first drums of revolution, because everyone will be hurt when he threatens or enacts impoundment. Now remember, because it's illegal, he'll do it because this is what he does. He'll do it, and then somebody will sue because it's illegal, and then he'll let it work its way through the courts. But remember, the Supreme Court said he could do whatever he wanted to do, basically. So, if and when he does enact impoundments, if that becomes another court case at another date, I will look at that and see what the court will do. Just because it'll work its way up to the Supreme Court, I'm sure. So, hang in there, be of good cheer. I mean, all of this is happening so that we can pick a side, pick a lane, and move in a different direction than the one we've been moving in. So I wish you well on this Monday. Do go to Random Sage, which is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. Go there and subscribe to her channel there, because she and I will be doing something later this afternoon. I don't know when she's going to put it up, but you will see me with her soon. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, maybe. Okay, take care.